Welcome to Knitter's Gotta Knit podcast. This is stitch number 14, and I'm Carrie. On Ravelry, my name is I'm a Knitfomaniac, and on Instagram, it's just Knitfomaniac.
And I'm Darlene, Bags of Awesome Granny on Instagram, and in my shop on Etsy, and just Awesome Granny on Ravelry.
Welcome back if you're a returning viewer. Thanks for joining us if you're new. And well, tell us how your morning was.
Well, it was going pretty good until I got here. So
my house must be a jinx.
I guess so. And so I was getting something out, chapstick or something out of my purse, and I put my keys in my lap instead of just putting them in my purse. I don't know why I did that. I never do that. And then I put my phone in my purse and stuff, and I got out and locked my car, and immediately didn't remember putting my keys away. And I looked in my car, and yep, they were sitting right there in my car seat. So I called my husband. I was like, Bruce, I'm an idiot. Can you come unlock my car, or send somebody to come unlock my car? And you know, he told me that I wasn't an exceptional idiot. I was just your average idiot. Yeah. Normal idiot, because an exceptional one would do it, you know, 2 or 3 times a year.
Oh, so does he want you to be exceptional?
No, but I haven't done it this year, but it's a new year, and I think I did it locked them in a couple of times last year. But I was telling him, I had never have locked my keys in my car until he became a locksmith. So it must be his fault.
I think it has to be. I think it has to be.
So in the past 10 years, I probably locked my keys in my car three or 4 times.
Wow.
So, and then Carrie made me a cup of coffee, and I spilt coffee all over me a while ago.
She did.
So it's, you know.
It was a very full cup of coffee.
It was, but I guess I'm just a little bit clumsy this morning. So.
Keys, coffee, we'll see what else. Yep. So. Well, I have great news. Paige has heat in her house. Yay, I'm so excited. So, and she also has her new Nest thermometer. And for those of you who don't know what a Nest is, it's just this little circle thermometer, but it's a learning thermometer, so it like learns your habits and stuff, and can tell what temperature it is outside. And our power company has a rebate for it right now. So like if you buy one, then you get a credit on your energy bill. And anyway, she really wanted it. So when her heat originally broke, we thought it was her thermostat. So I put the new Nest thermostat in, and then the heat still wasn't working. And that's when we started the whole fiasco of people coming out and looking at it and trying to figure out what was wrong and the whole 9 yards. And so we finally have her emergency heat working and her regular heat working. She still has some duct work that needs to be done, but she's on that, and they're going to come out, but for now everything works. But in the process of them doing that, the technician that came out said, I hate these wireless thermostats, the ones that connect to the internet, and blah, 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 blah. That's the problem. It's the thermostat's problem and the wiring problem and all this other stuff. And put in a digital thermometer, but not a, you know, direct to the internet where she can change it on her phone and all that other stuff. So after the lady left, Paige says, I really want that other thermostat back. And I said, all right, I'll see what I can do if I can like hook it up properly. Because I don't think the old thermostat that originally came with the house after she purchased the house, I don't think that would have ever worked for her emergency heat, because I don't think it was ever wired properly. So now that we had this new digital thermostat that was wired properly, I could, you know, plug those wires into like Nest.com and figure out which way to wire it. So off I go to rewire the thermostat, and nothing. No power, nothing. So I told Paige, I said, I'll try again on this day. And I was kind of racing the clock because the rebate's good till the 31st of January. So I was trying to get it all done by then. Even though my receipt says I had purchased it beforehand, I think you have to like sign up at our energy company with this Nest working in order to get that rebate. So I went over to her house one afternoon and, you know, started working with it. I was on the phone with Nest and, you know, going through every test and all this other stuff. And he says, okay, now we're going to do the final be-all, end-all test of all tests. And this is going to tell us if it's the thermostat that's broken or the unit. I'm kind of thinking to myself, why didn't we try this an hour and a half ago? But, you know, So we tried it. Turns out the nest was bad. And so they overnighted another one. And then I went again to wire it at her house. And I was like crossing my fingers, and I plugged it in, and it worked. And the emergency heat works, the heat pump works, everything. So I was so excited. So probably not as excited as anybody else, but I was super excited.
I'm excited for you. That's great. So I don't know if you saw Facebook this morning, but my son-in-law Tim is working at the coast right now because of the hurricanes. There's still a lot of outages and stuff down there. So he's down there, and they have their RV down there. And Shyla and the kids went down last night and to spend the weekend with him and to fish and stuff. Well, Shyla caught a big red, is that what they call them?
It's a redfish.
A redfish. Pretty good size, like over 20 inches. And Peyton caught a little perch. And she named it Bob.
Oh, okay. She named the perch. Is she taking it home?
No, Tim cut it in half and used it for bait.
Oh, okay.
So
did Bob work?
But Shyla put on Facebook that Peyton caught a perch, named it Bob, and then my brother Billy said that was funny, that she named her perch Bob, and Billy said, "How is Bob?" And Tim said, "Cut him in half and used him for bait. Bob is no more."
I hope Bob did the trick for catching whatever they wanted to catch next.
I don't know. But so they're gonna fish today and stuff. And Shyla went down last week. Was it earlier in the week? It was earlier this week, right?
Mm-hmm, earlier this week. Because she was coming home on Wednesday.
Yeah. So she went down like on Monday and spent Tuesday and Monday night and Tuesday night with Tim, and then she got up early to left Corpus at 5 in the morning to come home. And it was really foggy Wednesday. And she was staying off the highways, which I don't know why she was doing that. Maybe she was trying to take a shorter route to get home quicker. I'm not sure the reasoning for her to not be on the highway, but the roads that she was going on, it was dark and it was really foggy, and she didn't see a stop sign, and she got into a wreck.
Aww.
So she said the dogs are mad at her because they all splat her to the back seat of her pickup. But I mean, she drives a 4-door pickup, so the dogs were in the cab; they weren't in the back.
Right.
And they
I would never think that
they hit the. Well, I don't want people to think that. So, but they hit the back of the seat, and Shyla's like Abby was giving her the ULI and stuff.
Some personality.
So, but she's okay. The pickup does have damage. She can't drive it right now. It has a headlight out, and the hood's going to have to be fixed and stuff. But it wasn't a bad wreck, so that's good. That was a good thing.
Not as bad as Paige's, thank God. Paige's was total, but
yeah. But and I was telling Carrie, and I cannot believe I did not tell Carrie this, because I tell Carrie,
she tells me everything. So then when she goes to telling me about how Brinley's done with something, and I'm like, "You never told me that." She goes, "Are you sure?" I'm like, "I'm sure. I would remember that."
And I was a little miffed, because I thought, okay, Brinley just had surgery, and Carrie has not one time asked me how she's doing. Not once.
I had no clue.
And I'm not miffed, but a little hurt, I guess. Of
course.
And I was telling them, the girls in knitting, that Brinley had fallen on her crutches. That's how and you were like, "Why is she on crutches?" And so then, long story, my motorcycle granddaughter had a mole on the top of her toe.
Her big toe.
Her big toe. And it was just behind the knuckle, between here on your toe. Mm-hmm. And it had started growing pretty good size. And so they were concerned about it, and they went in and they did surgery and they removed it. Mm-hmm. And so, but she couldn't walk on that foot for a couple of weeks because, of the surgery. So she was on crutches. Well, my son took her back to the doctor this past Wednesday, and he said that the pathology report came back, and there were what he called atypical cells. So they were concerned about, that atypical cell, I guess it can turn into something. So she's got to have surgery again this coming Wednesday, and they're going to take out more tissue, and this time, because your toe don't have a lot of skin and a lot of fat and a lot of, they're going to have to do a skin graft to close it this time. So they're going to have to get the skin from her bikini line, and she's just so disappointed. And upset. You know, the idea of walking on crutches is all fun and games to a kid until they start doing it. You know, and she's been on them for a couple of weeks, and she's gonna have to be on them for about 6 weeks this time around. And it was funny. I was telling my son, you know, that I wanted to send her something because I know you said I didn't have to show this, but I'm going to. Okay, is it okay?
Yeah, no, okay.
And you know, she loves gummy bears, and that started my son and I on this conversation about, you know, Carrie's family, and Carrie is from Germany, and I was telling Casey how much better the German candy is than American candy.
I know people are out there are going to go, no, it's not, and I'm like,
but it really is. Gummy bears are like so much better. You know, coming from Germany, and my son, he said, maybe it's because America, when they're made here, they have to put something else in it to,
like FDA
for the FDA regulations. I thought, well, maybe so, but the ones in Germany are just better. Well, Carrie always has goodies from Germany, and I asked Carrie, I said, do you have any of the German chapstick and the other German candies that I can send Brindley? And so this candy, it's called Mauwam or something like that. Mauwam. And it's
the same backwards or forwards.
Well, by golly.
Mauwam.
It sure is. So I'm going to send, Carrie gave me this pack, and I'm going to send it to Brindley. And it's such cool candy because it's different flavors, but every piece is white. It's almost like a Starburst, only they're not
colored.
They're not colored, and they taste better. The taste of them is just more fruity, but they're not any more sticky than a Starburst, right?
No.
Okay. The reason I'm asking is because she has braces, and I just thought
they're not any more sticky than a Starburst.
So, and then I'm going to send her one of these. I'm not sure which one. Carrie and I'll talk about it after the podcast. But this is like the best lip balm on the face of the earth.
This is the most amazing lip balm.
And so I'm always telling Carrie, please, I want some. So I have to, Carrie, when her sister brings it to her, she's actually bringing it to both of us because I still
and my daughter. And my daughter. So, and I've made some deals with one viewer that I know. Jennifer, she sent me some Labello. Thank you very much. And then another friend that I've met from the Netherlands in one of the groups that I'm doing a cow with, she just recently sent me some Labello, and she's sending some more. Thank you, Bridget. And so anytime, you know, I can get some Labello, I'm like, send me some Labello. So, because I have my daughter stealing it. I have my grandchildren stealing it. I have my Darlene stealing it. And, you know, it's just the greatest chapstick. It's much better than anything you can get here.
And this chapstick, this one, it's the original one in blue. I always get one of these from Carrie before Bruce and I go on vacation. Because this stuff saves my lips on vacation. I mean,
it's just amazing.
It is amazing, but I think Brindley will be so excited that she's getting original German stuff that actually came from Germany. I think she'll be, you know, I just want to send her something to cheer her up because, you know, she's so bummed about this. So I'm going to send her those, and I think she'll be super excited.
I think she'll be super excited. But we're thinking of you, Brindley.
So thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
So I have a question for to viewers out there. Can I ask a question?
Absolutely.
So, I don't know if anybody out there wears these shoes. Birkenstocks. I don't know how they're supposed to fit. And this is like the size of the shoe that I normally wear. But my foot fits in it weird. And I mean, I can't tell if it's too small.
I'll have to like take a picture of her foot later and like put it in here.
Yeah, because I need advice. Is it too small? Or is it not too small? And my granddaughter Kagan said she thought it fit. But then I like the way yours fits better, and yours is 2 sizes bigger than this.
I have a pair of Birkenstocks that my mother gave me. And my mother, it is half a size larger than me. And amazingly, I'm a half a size larger than Darlene. I always thought we were the exact same size, and I gave her a pair of shoes for Christmas. And they're a little big because I got them in the exact same size I wear, and I thought that's what she wore. But she's a 7, I'm a 7.5, and my mother's an 8. So I actually got my Birkenstocks from my mom, and so they're a 39 in a European size. These are 37. And in my clogs, I wear a 37 or a 38.
And see, I wear the 38s in the clogs. But I want to get this. So I want to get this figured out because when we go on the cruise, you know, I think I want to wear them because, you know, I have foot issues because of my foot surgery.
Right.
And you know, they don't. This is a pretty stable footbed, and I think they would be great to wear on the cruise. But I need to make sure that I'm wearing the right size.
Of course, because you don't want to be stuck with them for 4 days and then realize that that's not what you needed.
Right, because I may only take these in my house shoes if I can figure out if they're the right size or not.
It's my mother calling me.
Oh, okay, I thought it might be Bruce. My husband's coming to unlock my car. But so if anybody is an experienced Birkenstock wearer and can look at the picture Carrie's going to post and let me know if they fit or not, because obviously I need help.
She needs help in more areas than just shoes, but for right now we're just asking about the shoes.
I'm going to take my jacket off. Okay, and we're wearing the same shirt, and it was purely coincidence.
Yes, she had no clue I was wearing it, and I had no clue she was wearing it.
We always say we have one brain, and I really think we have one brain.
Some days it's amazing.
It really is.
She'll say something, and I'll be like, that's exactly what I was thinking of at that exact moment that you sent that text. It's just craziness.
It is.
Sometimes.
It really is.
How much our brains are in sync to be one brain. But I guess the only other thing that I had going on this week is that Jaime got a new job.
That's exciting.
I think I said that before when we first started this podcast, how he was going to get a real job. And he has his own company. And, the money just wasn't coming in like it used to. So he thought, well, I'm going to get this other job and see how he likes it. Well, he hated the driving. He was driving all day. They'd send him to the Valley, and they'd send him to Houston, and they'd send him to Dallas. And then he'd come home the same day. There were some times when he went to the Valley where they'd get him a hotel room, but sometimes he just wanted to come home. But when you're driving from 7 o'clock in the morning to 10 o'clock at night, you get there and you're only working for, an hour or two. And then, you're driving all the way back home. I can see where that can take a toll.
I can too.
Plus his main contract, the guys there had said, we really want you to come back. We really want you to keep your company open, and we will give you more work. So they did originally start to give him some more work, and so everything was going fine. Well, then one of the guys retired, and then the work slowed down again. So then he thought, man, and especially over this holidays for November, December, and January just have not been that great. So he thought, well, I'm going to start applying for jobs. So he applied for a job at the state. And he used to work for the state when he worked at UT Health Science Center. Well, now he's working at a college campus called UTSA. It's University of Texas at San Antonio. So he started his job on the 1st, on Thursday. And he likes it so far. It's a lot of walking because, it's a college campus. You park a million miles away just like the kids do and, walk to the buildings. And he thinks he's only been there 2 days. The first day was orientation, and then yesterday he got to meet the people that he worked with and kind of some of the stuff that he's going to be doing. Not all of it, but some of it. And he'll be going from building to building and like kind of reading meters and also like helping if people get stuck in an elevator. I don't know if that happens frequently there or if that's just like every once in a while. I don't think he knows, and a couple of other things, but it'll end up being a lot of walking, but I think he's going to enjoy it.
The only thing, him some Birkenstocks.
Yeah, I might. I think his friend who also works at UTSA told him that they give him a boot allowance. I think they want him to wear certain kind of boots.
Probably a steel toe boot.
And I think they give him a boot allowance.
That's awesome because boots are so expensive.
Mm-hmm. And like work boot type things. And the only other thing that he didn't find out until yesterday, which really kind of sucks, but he's okay with it. He has to work holidays. Thanksgiving.
Really?
Christmas. 4th of July.
Are you kidding me?
I don't know.
Why?
I don't know because the campus is closed. But, he doesn't want to, like, ask questions the first day.
Well, I would be asking questions pretty soon. I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah, so, I was asking him questions, and he's like, I don't know. He's only been there 2 days, and I'm grilling him. He goes, well, Thanksgiving isn't that big of a deal because he's going to work from 7 in the morning till 3 in the afternoon. So once he gets off at 3 in the afternoon, well, he can just go to Thanksgiving dinner with his family as long as they have it a little bit later.
I just don't understand why there would be a need unless they use holidays as maintenance, because it's closed.
I honestly have no idea.
That's just kind of bizarre to me.
So, and he's also going to have to rotate some shifts just so he knows so like 2 weeks doing his like 7 in the morning to 3 in the afternoon, and then 2 weeks, I think, doing 3 in the afternoon to 11 at night.
And then will he eventually settle in on a shift?
He thinks so, but he really doesn't know. I mean, you know, sometimes when you first start a job, you don't know everything,
I get that,
and you don't want to ask everything all at once.
But that would be a deal breaker for me. Doing shift work.
I don't know. I don't think it'll be a deal breaker for him. He's I don't know, but we'll see.
I'd be asleep on the job because I couldn't stay up till 11 o'clock.
I couldn't stay up till 11 o'clock either.
Oh, wow.
Honestly.
Well, I hope he likes it.
I hope he likes it too, and we'll see how it goes. So, and he took it because being that he worked for the state before for about 9 years. I know the state has some sort of retirement. I don't know if it's changed, but used to be, it was like, if you put in your 20 years with the state, then
you get a retirement.
You got a retirement, which is a percentage of your pay for the rest of your life. I don't know if they still do that, but because he gets to keep his 9 years from before, he would really only have to do about 11 more years, and then he'd hit his 20.
Yeah.
So, he's going to look into all of that and things of that nature. I thought that maybe he could get a free or reduced tuition for his boys for college, but that's not the case. But he's going to ask one more time, but so far that's not the case. So, but anyway.
Well, what are you knitting on?
I am knitting on a hat for my aunt and uncle. I think I showed this yarn before. My aunt and uncle, they drive a big, large RV around the United States, and just lost a stitch.
I'm sorry. No, I got pull it off. I'm sorry.
And they drive a big RV like around the United States, and they travel and do different things. And they went to New Zealand, and they were sitting at one of the places that they were staying, and this lady was spinning yarn and sold it to my aunt. There. And so my aunt sent it to me with a cute little card. I'd mentioned it before on a podcast. I don't know which one. Anyway, that same aunt and uncle are in town. So they came here on their bus, and they're going to leave their bus at a different aunt's house who lives kind of out in the country and has plenty of room. And then they're going to go to Galveston and catch a cruise. So you leave from Galveston, and they're going to be on a cruise for a couple weeks. And then they'll come back and get their RV, and we're going to have dinner on the 12th, I think, 12th of February. So I wanted to knit this up because it's the yarn they bought me, and gift it back to them, knitted. And I picked like a neutral pattern that can be worn by both men and women.
So you're making one hat or two?
I'm making one. And I think, this is less than half a skein already.
Okay.
So it's only I think it's like 100 yards. Maybe a little more, maybe a little bit less. I think it's 96 grams or something. So, the pattern, it's a free pattern. It's called Gridiron. And here's a picture of
well, that's cute.
Of the people wearing it. So, can't really see it's like thick and thin. I don't know if you guys have ever worked with hand spun, where I think it's on purpose, thick and thin. It's got like some areas that are super thick and some areas that are super thin. And so you can't see all of the pattern, but it is a cute pattern, and it's pretty neutral. So I want to gift it back to them so either one of them can wear it, because they just travel more and they'll get more use out of this than I will here. So anyway, I hope they like it. So I probably won't be able to show this again because I'll have given it to them prior to us podcasting again, because we're not going to podcast till after our dinner. But I'll try and remember to snap a pic and maybe insert it on the next podcast, so I can show you guys the hat. But anyway.
Well, I'm still working on Shiloh's Ricky hat. Did y'all know that it takes about 4 months to do a Ricky hat? It takes a really long time.
I think it depends on how many other things that you're making at the same time.
And I really haven't worked on this. I might have worked on it a couple of rows here and there since the last podcast, but I plan on this being finished so I can show it on the next podcast.
Okay.
Because I'm really tired of it, and I kind of want to work on a different hat.
Okay. She's tired of it.
I am tired of it. But Shiloh, when she posted a picture, it's on Facebook. I'll show it to you so you can insert it. But she has on her gray Ricky hat, and when I gave her that. You remember that shawl that we made for Camp Loopy?
Mm-hmm.
That's really white. You gave yours to your sister? Well, I gave that to Shiloh because it matches her her gray Ricky hat, and she has that thing wrapped around her neck. I mean, there's not a breeze can't get through that thing at the coast. But I mean, she is so cold-natured. But I'm glad she's wearing it.
Hey,
I'm glad she's getting some use out of it.
I completely agree.
But she has it folded in half and wrapped it around and knotted in at her neck, and it looks really cute on her.
I'm glad.
So
I'm glad. Okay, well, I guess, do we have any things to announce? We are going to do a giveaway, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, a while back, I saw on Instagram a picture of a 3D printed yarn bowl that a lady had posted. Somebody in her family had made her one for Christmas, and I thought it was really cute. And there's this company called Turtle Made. Their names are Jen and Scott, and I had messaged them and told them I saw this, bowl on Instagram, and would they consider doing a 3D printed bowl, yarn bowl? And they said that they had been thinking about it for a while, and of course the one that I saw on Instagram is just like a regular free pattern for, I guess there's like patterns out there for 3D printers, and you can either make your own or you can use this free copyrighted area or something. I don't know anything about 3D printing, but that's kind of how she made it sound. So they made their own little spin to it, and they made this yarn bowl, and I'll insert a picture. And this is the yarn bowl that we're going to give away, and it's got little sheep on the outside, and it's got the little divots if you want your yarn to run through here. It's got 3 holes on the side, I guess if you want to put your needles in there. And let me tell you what, they weighted this base just amazingly. I was really afraid it was like going to move around. It doesn't. I love it so much. Both Darlene and I have a brown one. I got 2 brown ones, and then Darlene loved it, so she bought a brown one off of me. So they have a bunch of different colors. It's Turtle Made on Etsy, and we are going to give this one away. So we'll do a prompt of,
have them go to their shop.
Yeah, have them go to their shop. And they have all sorts of knitting, spinning, weaving things that are 3D printed.
I think they got their start in the 3D printing fiber industry was for their
Turkish spindles.
Their spindles.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I think so.
And they have top whorl spindles, and they have Turkish spindles, and they have, I don't know anything about spindles.
I don't know.
But I know that they have different kinds.
And they also have, I think, something called a lucette or something that you use for weaving, and just all sorts of colors, all different things, 3D printed stuff. I love the bowl. Darlene and I have a candy apple red coming also, so but we're gifting this away for red. So we'll start a prompt, go to her shop. It's an amazing bowl.
It really is. I really like it.
I just love it. Can't say enough great things about it. When they sent the bowl originally, they also have, these are so cute, these turtles. They're needle holders.
They're the cutest things.
I have to put in pictures. So they come in different sizes. They come in, this is glow in the dark white. I got some orange. These are the smaller needle sizes. These are larger. These are black. And I think they also come in blue. I don't have any blue. I think Darlene's getting some blue. They're just needle holders. So you can put one needle in this way and one needle in that way. And they've also got a hole on the bottom if you want it just for tips. And they're just cute.
They're cute.
They're little turtles.
They are adorable.
I mean, they're just little turtles. They're just so cute.
They are.
So, so yeah, I got a couple of different sizes, and we'll give that bowl away. We'll start a prompt, and we'll do that. We still also have prizes from Lisa at Fiber Nymph Dye Works. We'll do that. We'll do some more of those on the next one.
And then did we do the Instagram one? Did we do that one? That one's went out.
It went out.
Okay.
I announced it on Instagram, and it went out. And I can't remember her name, but
somebody did win.
There. And
okay,
somebody
good.
won, and I already sent it. So that one's done.
Great.
And,
so
I guess we could go to stash enhancements.
I don't have any.
Okay, so I know that we're not supposed to have any stash enhancements, but I just have a couple. First, we have to tell them about our temperature blanket.
Oh, yeah. I didn't bring mine.
Oh, okay. Well, I
You
have
brought
mine.
yours, right?
Mhm.
Okay.
So, no, we're not buying any yarn this year, but we did break. We already broke. It was like the 16th of January, I think.
Yep.
And we have some friends, they go to a Thursday night group, and the whole Thursday night group wanted to do a temperature blanket. So, I think one girl is going to do a scarf. But anyway, they were talking about it, and they said, well, if everybody agrees, it's not really cheating.
Can justify anything.
Man, can't you just justify anything? Any way to buy yarn, right? So, of course, Darlene had said a couple of episodes ago that she's been wanting to make a temperature blanket, and I was like, you can't buy yarn. You know, I was all pointing my finger and, you know, getting upset. Not really, but and then, you know, the other girls contacted us and said, what do you think? And so we thought, okay, we'll do it. So I have mine to show.
I didn't bring mine. I walked right out without it.
We're doing ours a little bit different. So we did a bunch of math. That's the yarn that we bought this year, is yarn for a temperature blanket. And we're doing ours a little bit different. So this is upside down. But we're doing the number of stitches for what the temperature was in their color, and we're doing both the lows and the highs. So, for example, on the 1st of February, it hit 81 degrees. Finally, it hit into the 80s for the first time this year. So this orange, it's called Desert Glaze, that's 81 stitches. And so it started like right here, and so, you know, go across here and then come up and then go across, and then I'll attach the low for the next day and then attach the high for the next day, and, you know, do so many stitches. So like the gray is for the 30s, and the forest green is for the 70s, and jelly beans in the 60s or something. I mean, there's different colors, and we have like color coded things, and the reason that we're doing it this way, because it's crocheted, and I did a little bit of math as to how tall 365 rows would be at a half double crochet, and it's about 13.5 feet. So at 13.5 feet, we were trying to figure out how wide do we want it.
Yeah.
And I think we came up with like 9 feet. So that's like 350 stitches. And while that's going to be it's going to be like 9 feet by 13.
Would be a bedspread.
Would be a bedspread, but I just thought that was a lot for one day. You know, I know it is just one day, but you know, it can back up, it can catch up with you if you don't do it every day. And 350 stitches in one day, I mean, that takes, you know, a lot of your time just going back and forth and back and forth. So I kind of thought it would be too big. So I wanted to do something smaller, and so came up with this, and I think it's going to look kind of cool. I might have to add an edge or a trim to it or something, but you know, just with the different colors going all around. I'll insert a picture of that.
I think it's going to look cool too. I just don't like the way my joins look. So that's the only thing I'm unhappy with about the project is my joins.
Is your joins. So, but anyway, so we have that. And then I have a...
And we're using, we're using Hobby Lobby. I love this yarn.
Yes.
For it. And it's a nice, inexpensive acrylic yarn.
Yeah, it is.
It's super soft.
It's got a lot of yards.
Yeah, it does.
355 yards. And it's under $4. So, but anyway, I also have a stash enhancement of sock yarn, but I did not buy this. So, first I got my skein of yarn from the Homespun House, Harry Potter January, February, March yarn club that Darlene had gifted me for Christmas. So I was telling my daughter Paige about it and telling her that it's Harry Potter themed yarn.
That's so pretty.
It's beautiful. I've already caked it up and started socks with it. So it's called the Night Bus, and I can insert a picture of what the skein looked like before, and this is what they look like now, and I'll insert a picture of the socks that I'm making with them. I'm just making plain.
That's really pretty yarn.
Plain vanilla socks. But when I told Paige about this yarn, she said, they have Harry Potter inspired yarn? And I said, well, it's kind of inspired by each individual dyer as to, how they interpret different things. Like, if you're not familiar with Harry Potter, the night bus is a bus that he catches one night that's only for witches and wizards, and muggles can't see it. And so, they dyed it according to what that bus looked like. And she says, well, I want Gryffindor socks. And I said, Paige, I'm not allowed to buy yarn. And she goes, I'll buy the yarn, but I have to knit the socks. So this is Gryffindor's color. It's biscotti yarn. Paige bought it. I don't know when I'm casting on, but I'm hoping soon. I have a couple of other socks going on, but I have to show that as a stash enhancement. Even though I didn't buy it, I still got it because I got knit socks with it. So, what else do you have?
I have my whips.
Okay, we can go into whips. Wait,
did you want to show your little scissors while you're doing stash enhancements?
Yeah, so
I don't know what this box is. But.
This is the box that these cute little scissors came in. I saw them on Instagram. I'm telling you, Instagram can be very dangerous for me. But it's from Never Not Knitting, and she had it packaged in just the cutest thing, and I'll insert some pictures. And they're like little mini bonsai scissors. Again, I'll insert some pictures. She's got a couple of different colors, and they go into like a little sweater, and the sweater has a magnet in it that's like magnetized, so they don't fall out. It's kind of like grabs the scissors. It's not just hanging in there loosely, which I thought was super cute. And the way that however she put this together. She has other things. She has like a pin cushion, but I don't sew, so I don't really have a need for a pin cushion. But I thought that these were super cute, so I got some of these, and that was from Never Not Knitting. Never Not Knitting. Yes, put in a picture. She just wrapped it in just the cutest little way. So
okay, so I've pretty much since our last podcast have been pretty monogamous on Bruce's sweater.
It's awesome.
And I really want to get it done in the next few weeks. So I have attached my sleeves. I know it looks like a baby sweater, but it, and when Carrie was making her dad's, I thought, man, that thing looks small. I don't know how many times I told her, man, that thing looks small. But I know that it's going to keep growing as I work up the yoke and the sleeves and stuff. But it is attached, and I've got one more row of the part I'm on right now, and then I start doing the short rows, the second set of short rows. Mm-hmm. And then I can start doing decreases. So
it's great. It feels great. It looks great. He's gonna love it.
Last night I was working on it, and Bruce said, I changed my mind. I want a green sweater. I really don't like blue. I was like...
Did you tell him that green won't match his eyes?
I told him, I said, no, I wish I'd have thought of that. I said, well, you're okay, but you're getting a blue one too. So, he was just kidding. Blue's his favorite color.
Of course.
But I'm just excited to get it done. So
it looks amazing. It really, really does.
So, thank you. But I'm hoping... I know it won't be finished by the time we podcast next, but maybe it'll be...
Closer.
Closer.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah.
So that's my big one. And then I did start something new last night.
Oh no.
I did. And I'm so excited about it. I started Shannon's sweater.
Another sweater for Shannon.
So hopefully second time's a charm. And I looked for yarn. I seriously considered breaking the yarn diet for it, and I thought about a different pattern, and And then I thought, you know what, I'm just gonna do with what I know. So I'm actually gonna make this the same, instead of making it the size I made my brother's, because you know it was way too big for Shannon. I'm gonna make the medium the same. Excuse me, the same size I made Bruce's Darren, because Bruce's Darren was actually a little bit too big for Bruce, and it fits Shannon pretty good. So even if it's a little small, I can make it bigger.
Right.
It's hard to make it smaller.
It is hard to make it smaller.
So I'm making this for Shannon. I'm using the Line brand, the same yarn that I made my brother's out of, only it's a different color. Billy's was a heather brown. This one is a natural brown. So I started this last night, so I'm going to get Bruce's done, and then I'm going to try to get, really commit to this one to get this done in the next, 3 or 4 months. So
that'll be great. He's going to love it.
I will love it being done.
I know you will. I know you will.
And so that's all. That's all. I mean, I haven't even touched my crochet blanket, my sampler, since the last podcast, because I've been, trying to be committed to Bruce's sweater. And I've got about 4 or 5 stripes done on Trenton's blanket, but it's at work. So, and that's why I wanted to borrow your tote, the tote you brought me, because I did have Shannon's blanket in just a tote bag, and it had already outgrown it, so that's why I needed your tote. But it's at work, so I didn't even touch it last week, so I'm a week behind on my 3-week thing. But as long as I get it done in the next, month or so, Trenton will be happy.
Yeah, I'm sure he will be happy.
So.
I have one other whip, I think. Well, 2 other whips. So I don't have any finished objects. I feel like I need something finished though, so I'm thankful that I'm working on that hat, because I know I'll finish that before my aunt and uncle come over. But there was a mystery sock cowl that I got invited to, and I don't usually like to knit patterns on my socks. I've said it a million times, I just love the mindlessness of a plain vanilla sock, which was the whole, which is what I'm doing with my Harry Potter yarn that I got as a gift from Darlene, the Night Bus. So this is just plain vanilla. I can just knit and not even think. But I thought, it could be a pretty pattern. I need to step out of my comfort zone a little bit, and so I decided to join. And I joined about a week late, so I had a clue to catch up on. And
it's so pretty.
I'm really loving them.
It's pretty.
I'm really, really loving them. It's a cabled sock. I'll insert a picture. This yarn is Evil Little Goat. Try a Little Tenderness is the name of it. Dion had gifted it to us a few months back. It is just...
Oh my gosh, that's beautiful.
Beautiful. It is just beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Clue 3 came out yesterday. I'm using the Addy Flexi Flips that I am enjoying. I am not enjoying the blunt ends. They have one end that's blunt and one end that's pointy. But
that's a beautiful pattern.
It really is.
And that yarn is gorgeous.
So I have both of them at the same, well, this one has a little bit more, I think. Or that one. I started Clue 3 last night, and I just got a few rows done. But it's by Naughty Gnome. It's a mystery. Love full socks. This is Clue 3. Of course, it's a pay for pattern, so I just have the top to Naughty Gnome Crafts. I'll insert pictures of it, but I'm just in love. However, even though I am in love, I still won't make a patterned sock all the time. I think it's nice to have something patterned every once in a while, but I still love to go back to my foolproof vanilla, non-thinking sock. So, but it is beautiful yarn. Evil Little Goat and the Squishy Goat. Try a Little Tenderness. So thank you, Dion. I am loving knitting these socks with your yarn. And then my only other whip is my sister's Ranger, which I am in the middle of a row on. But I think I can still show it. And I'll take a picture and insert it. But I have both sleeves done. And then I just have the body.
And you're zooming through that thing.
I don't know how many inches this is. I'm thinking maybe around 9 or 10. And I have to go to 14.5. I know it looks a lot like the same color as my father's, but it's not. It's a darker red. It's more brick. It's called wine. But I'm hoping to get caught up and maybe attach my sleeve, do some short rows and attach my sleeves in the next week or so. But we'll see. I've got a billion other things that I'm working on between the hat and the socks and, the clues coming out and other things. But I am enjoying it, and I know my sister will be thrilled to get it when I finish. She will love it. So, and I think that's all I have.
That's all I have. I guess since we're doing one giveaway, we'll talk about some fiber nymph stuff later.
Yeah, I think we'll do it on another.
Another one, okay.
Yeah, on another one. I did mention we still have those to give away. I did want to mention, I said earlier that I got some of this chapstick from a lady that I'd met on Ravelry. And I am hostessing a Cal over in the Haya Patterns group in case anybody wants to join. I'm not knitting this sock, but it is a beautiful sock. It's called Samara, and it's by Michelle Martin. I'll insert a picture. It's got a beautiful cabling. You get the pattern for free as long as you finish the sock in time. You have a pair of socks knit exactly as the pattern says to if you finish it within 2 months. Don't feel obligated to join. I just wanted to mention it. It's a great way to get a free pattern if you enjoy making the socks. If you don't finish the pattern and the pair of socks within the 2-month period, then you have to pay for the pattern. So I did want to mention that. And I had a water knitter once. So
awesome.
I am a member of a monthly dishcloths Yahoo group, and in that group they play like a little scramble game, and if you win the game 5 times before somebody else wins, because once somebody wins your numbers go back to 0, you win a gift card to Knit Picks. And I won. And I won a gift card to Knit Picks, and I thought, what do I want to get? And I ended up getting some Big O, because it was it was a $50 gift card. It was right at that price amount. I got 6 skeins, and I want to knit this super bulky grandpa cardigan by Joji Locatelli. I'll put a link to the pattern in the show notes. I don't have the yarn yet because I just won the gift card and I just ordered the yarn.
What color did you get?
I got black. Surprising. Big surprise there. I got black. But I also want to take Paige's sweater that Unit 3 of, the Simone cardigan for her granddaughters. I think I'm going to frog that one and use that yarn to knit Paige super bulky grandpa.
Oh, that would be better than that stupid.
I know it's your favorite.
I did.
It's your favorite sweater pattern. And yeah, so I think I'm going to frog that and see if I can't do the super bulky grandpa with that yarn. And then I also have the Big O coming for me, for black for me. That's what I used to knit Darlene's shawl that we showed last week. So Big O is very soft.
It is. It's a great yarn.
Very nice yarn. So, and I think that's all we've got.
I think so.
If you're a football fan, happy Super Bowl weekend. I'll be rooting for the Eagles.
I'll be thankful I have Netflix.
She does not watch football. And you guys have a great week. Thanks. Bye. Bye.